you are all excited for this as I am, it sounds like. But we are ready to go with Paper Mario. So MX4, let's go!
Hi, this is M4. Welcome to Paper Mario Any Percent No Peach Warp. So, before I get into this, I'll just go ahead and give a brief rundown of what is this. So, Any Percent No Peach Warp is not, a normal Any Percent run. So, back in the early days of this game being speedrun, there was a trick that was discovered that kind of shook everything up and called Blue House Skip that allowed for the game to be played in a variety of ways. So the Any Percent route back then, which is what this is now, did a bunch of stuff at the beginning, did Blue House Skip to skip into Chapter 5, finished Chapter 5 with another skip, and then played through 6 and 7 normally in the end of the game. So what's different? Why is this not Any Percent today? Well, they found another trick called Peach Warp that lets you skip chapters 6 and 7 pretty much entirely, and it results in the end game being extremely unlikely to finish. So runners didn't like that, so they created a new category called Any Percent No Peach Warp that is basically just, the old Any Percent, but it bans that glitch that made the run really, really unlikely to finish. So here I am today with my friend Morpheus, who runs this category pretty proficiently, and just is overall really good at this game. And we have my friend Spaceship Yoshi, who's been a good supporter of my stream the entire time I've been running this game, more or less. These are both really great people. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Yo, what's up? I'm Spaceship Yoshi. My friends call me GB. I played Paper Mario once or twice.
Yeah, it's true. So, without any ado, the run, there's a lot of cutscenes at the beginning. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Time starts upon pressing A on the file select screen, so I'll go ahead and give a countdown for that really quick. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off to hold the B button for about a minute before anything happens.
Okay, sounds good. What's up, everyone? It's Morpheus. I've run this game a couple times. We're going to be watching No Peach Warp today. This category is pretty sick. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yo, what's up? I'm, in case it didn't come through before, I'm Spaceship Yoshi. My friends call me GB. No Peach Warp is cool. There's some stuff here even I haven't seen, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this category is not run particularly often by top runners because there's a lot of RNG in it. I mean, as I explained before, Any Percent is pretty painful nowadays. You have something around a 1 in 10 chance of finishing an Any Percent run at the top level. No Peach Warp can also kill you, but the RNG in this category is more like, hey, you have a 1 in 3 chance of just losing a minute, stuff like that. So this category doesn't kill you, but getting an optimized time is, similarly difficult to the regular Any Percent route. They both start off pretty similarly.
The first 50 minutes or so of both runs are pretty much the same, except with one exception.
Yeah, something like that. The items we pick up and the partners we get vary very, very slightly, but it's mostly No Peach Warp, just getting an extra couple of things to make it easier to execute the fights. So anyway, prologue is 20 minutes long. This is this game has a very, very slow start with not a whole lot going on. We'll try to fill the air the best we can. There are a couple of tricks we'll have to explain, but for the most part, I think we're here to have fun. And
I think prologue's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
you end up kind of loving it,
That, folks, is how you can tell that he's not a speedrunner of this game.
Yeah, I was just gonna let that one go.
we like to. I mean, prologue is not that bad when you're playing it, but having a 20-minute like do nothing at the beginning of runs tends to keep people from resetting too many times per day. Usually, if you see a Paper Mario speedrun stream, like they'll try, you know, a couple times, but nobody really wants to sit through this over and over again, unfortunately. But it is it's not that bad when you're playing. It's just that you get interrupted constantly. Like right here we had like 1 minute of holding the B button, which is how you scroll text in this game, by the way. It's incredible. So you hold the B button, you don't have to do anything else. So we did that for like a minute, and then we had 20 seconds of movement up here, and then we were interrupted for another minute, and now we're mashing A for another minute, and then we're gonna hold B for another 2, and that's the run up to this point. So oh. No, I got it.
Thanks, Captain.
Did my Discord just crash?
So they did.
Uh-oh.
So I hit these. I hit
But
the
yeah,
video share
this
button
fight
to
is
share my
very
capture, and my
restricted. There
Discord
is
crashed
no getting around
immediately.
this. And if you do manage to get around this fight somehow,
Hello?
the game crashes, so there is no cheating. You are going to lose this fight, unfortunately.
Hey, so I went to turn on my screen share for the Discord, and my Discord immediately crashed. Like the instant I pressed the button, it was just gone.
Thanks, Discord.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
so
that's one kind of marathon luck.
yeah. I mean, at least the game didn't crash, right?
That reminds me of the last time I saw you at a marathon a few months ago, and like just before you're supposed to go on, like your computer blue screened.
I
like
believe
seconds before.
that was the previous SS4C actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my rack run. It was the finale, and my entire computer crashed like seconds before I was gonna start the run. It was honestly pretty funny. Anyway, I don't know what you guys were talking about while I was gone, but we're still in the
I
beat
basically
holding
just
part.
mentioned that there's no getting around Bowser because the game crashes if you beat him somehow.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Apparently Discord does
Honestly.
too.
Honestly.
True. Anyway, Mario's
Yeah,
dead.
Laura's like he's literally clinging on to the edge of his life, and the Star Secrets give him their last bit of power. You know, typical protagonist shenanigans.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely plot armor that he lost a fight, got struck by lightning, and fell from orbit to the ground, and is still alive at all. They didn't even bother giving him a re-entry capsule or anything. He just took all that friction raw. Somehow he is fine. So we're almost to the part where you get to play the game again. There's like 30 more seconds of cutscene, and then immediately, and this is one of the good things about running this game, is that one of the hardest tricks in any route of this game is right at the beginning. So it's a very common reset point at, like, admittedly almost 10 minutes in, but, you know, it's better than... It's better than some routes where, like, you have RNG that kills you at the end of the game. We'll go a little bit into depth on what that is when we get there in a couple minutes, but right now we landed in Goomba Village. These are friend Goombas, not enemy Goombas. And in order to advance the story, we want to go talk to this guy. And then the guy in front of the game.
Yeah, basically he needs his hammer,
guy.
and this other Goomba has the hammer, so we're trying to get it. But then Cammy...
Is there a canonical reason as to how they use hammers
I don't
without
question
hands?
Yeah, I prefer not to think about that. They don't have any hands. They don't look like they even have toes to like hold things. So I imagine they're just like telekinetic, you know?
You know what? Valid.
Otherwise, how do they do anything? Who put that bow on Gimbario, huh? Who put the hat on Gimbario? How did they do that? Anyway.
I think that's the least of our questions with Gumbario.
Right,
Yeah,
well,
that's probably true. Anyway, so
yeah,
now we need
Cammy
to hammer
blocked her way,
GX
so
in the
now we gotta
village.
go do extra stuff. How could she do that?
How could she?
Alright, but I guess I'll start explaining the upcoming trick that we alluded to a moment ago. This is Junior Skip. So there's a trick in this game that you can use in pretty much 90% of rooms called loading zone storage. And basically what happens is you start frame perfect jumping from the loading zone to store it. And this works only because loading zones take 2 frames to activate. So if you jump frame perfectly across the room and activate the bush the hammer's in, the game immediately grants you the hammer on the first frame. Nice. And then you get to skip the entire Junior Troopa fight. This saves about, in any percent categories, it saves about 45 or 50 seconds. And in other categories that complete the rest of the game, it saves about a minute. So it's very significant.
First
I
try
miss that
Junior
block all
Skip,
the time.
missed the block. I also don't think I needed.
The block
I
is the
also
real
don't think I
enemy.
needed the bush coin. I don't think this route has been updated for the clefs. Yeah, I guess we're gonna be making more than one departure from the route I have up right now, because not everything is fully up to
Does that
date. We
route
gotta do something about
Junior
that.
Skip? Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it says Junior Skip and then Bush Coin, and I just didn't question it for some reason. Okay, so now we got another minute of cutscenes. We're gonna get our first buddy, Goombario. He is not useless, but you know, he's something. He helps us a little bit with damage in the early parts of the game, but he has a lot of limitations.
So
He also knows
legitimately
everybody's
everybody's.
Yep. His
which would be useful if we weren't trying to go fast and if we spoke Japanese, but in this case, not
unfortunately,
super useful.
well, I don't know about you guys.
I don't.
Can't say I am either.
More.
Alright, so we're gonna get this Goom Nut. Because we skipped the fight with Junior Troopa, we're at full HP, so normally if you do skip Junior Troopa, you would have to hit the heart block at some point, but because we skipped him, we just need to heal our FP, so this ends up being faster. Ooh, close call. I forgot this was gotten in this route too.
Yeah, close call is one of those unfortunates that, one of these unfortunate realities of the NA% categories is that you basically need that badge.
We'll talk about close call. Yeah, we can talk about close call later when it's
flavored Goombas.
relevant, but right now we've got the Goomba Brothers. Pretty straightforward fight. Red Goomba has 7 HP, Blue has 6. So we're just gonna deal damage equally to both on these first 2 turns, and then on the next turn, they'll both get hit with Fire Flower, and it's pretty straightforward. Not the craziest fight.
Yep. So you see, we had Goombario do nothing because his damage literally only matters on the first turn of this fight. Doing an additional head bonk with him just wastes time and ends up ending the fight on the same turn. If we ever do nothing with our partners, that is like 90% of the reason is because it wouldn't actually matter for how fast the fight ends. It would just slow us down.
Yeah, it would just slow the pace.
Yep. So Goombario does a lot of watching us fight and not a lot of fighting himself.
Alright, so we got more exposition.
And
Goom Bros got mopped by Mario, honestly. So now they gotta get their king to come out and try to handle Mario, but I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, probably not. This fight, funny enough, this fight's even faster than the last one. It's 2 turns instead of 3. They added the king, and he actually weighs them down so much that the fight is even easier for Mario this time around. Of course, that's thanks to the Goom Nut tree in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's because they added a single mechanic that's not used in any other fight in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the only like battle in the entire game where this is a thing, right?
There's a couple of other backgrounds you can interact with in battle, but otherwise, for major fights like this, no.
Just one shot the flavored Goombas.
Ooh, we
Yeah,
got the fast attack.
That's a couple frames faster. I think it's like 6.
It is... It's 8. It's 8. It took me a minute to remember. It's like 0.2 something seconds. So, yeah, we got the fast attack. That's pretty cool. This one's actually pretty good so far. Not a lot of mega spaghetti. Anyway, we're gonna be holding D for a while again.
Yeah, in case I wasn't mentioned, we're literally just holding B to mash text. It's the fastest way of mashing text in this game.
Yeah.
This castle collapsing is one of my favorite visual gags in the game. Where like see in a second, the windows falling off.
Yeah. You wanna know what I think is funny about this? The Goomba King asks you if you hit the switch, and then he hears that you do. He goes, "Oh no!" And instead of, you know, getting to safety, he goes on top of the thing that's gonna launch, and and he team rockets himself for unexplained reasons.
How does a switch like that even exist?
I don't know. Alright, so more of this. We will be scrolling down to on several of these menus to continue don't save. The N64 is a potato, and it lags if you save during those sequences. So it is actually marginally faster to hold down and let it scroll down to continue don't save every time you get a prompt like that. I will be saving manually later in front of places where I might die, albeit, you know, it's unlikely, just so we can finish the run. But for spots like that, it's little things like that that add up for time save in a game this old. I think it's the equivalent of, like, what, a frame and a third or something? Like, it's very, very small, but it really does add up. So, I don't know who these guys are, and we're not gonna find out. They're just talking to Bowser up in his castle. And Mario has made it back to Toad Town, more or less. Just gotta get through one more room. So this is where we were at the beginning of the game. He has found his way back to his home. And narratively, we are supposed to go to Shooting Star Summit now to receive instructions from our star spirits, who are... I can't really figure it out. They seem like they're religious figures, almost, in this game, but they're also, like, corporeal and very much, like, in your life all the time. I can't really tell, like, what inspiration these guys came from, but they're very, like, mystical figures that supposedly grant wishes from their home up in Starhaven. But they need your help in this game because Bowser kind of wrecked them in the storybook intro in the beginning of the game. So they're going to talk to us from their places of captivity. We're only going to save 2 of them due to the nature of the category. We're only going to be saving the last 2. But because this game works on a story trigger sequence system, once we hit a story trigger, it's going to consider everything prior to that trigger completed. Which is why this game is, which is why you can beat this game in under 2 hours if you play any percent. So, just for exposition.
More Peach cutscenes, yeah. There's really not a whole lot to say about prologue.
There really isn't, but as soon as we're let loose in chapter 1, it starts happening, like, things start happening really fast.
Yeah, that's where the game really starts.
Yeah.
It's honestly the scariest part of any percent run of either category.
Yeah, once you finish I would say from Black Toad Skip all the way up until BHS, and even the end of the volcano, to be honest, this game is scary. If you're trying to get a good time.
It's so easy to lose a bunch of time in that. Like, it's like a 20-minute span. You jump from like 3 different chapters. And it's just like, just breakneck speed doing all these tricks.
It's like 20 minutes and like 6 difficult tricks or something. That's an estimate, I didn't count them.
This game is very front-loaded once you get past prologue.
Yeah.
With the difficult execution.
Funny enough, also because of the story trigger system, once you get to the point where you're actually playing the game, once you've broken it with Blue House Skip, the rest of the run, like if you're doing like all cards or something, you don't really need to do very many glitches once you've already broken it. But it's the beginning and getting to the point where it is broken and you can go anywhere and do anything that's like really hard in the speedrun. Like, Chapter 6 in this category even only has 2 glitches, and they're both optional.
I'll also say from, like, a spectator point of view, I think Paper Mario speedruns are just really, like, easy to interpret, like, just sitting back and watching. You know, there's a lot of games that I feel like you watch people speedrun, and, like, what's happening on the screen just makes, like, indecipherable, you know?
Yeah,
the first game that always comes to mind is Ocarina of Time with all the wrong warps.
Yeah,
that's always the first one.
You have a lot of moments, not to detract from the runs, obviously, but like you have a lot of moments where it's like, what just happened? Whereas here, it's pretty easy to look and be like, oh, I see what you were going for.
Yeah, so, that was the Magic Koopa. He's basically the Action Command tutorial fight.
Yep. So we now have Action Commands, which is the equivalent of like timed hits and blocking in other RPGs. Not all RPGs have features like that, but the Mario RPG series is really commonplace. And in Paper Mario specifically, only the first one, you actually don't start with them. You have to play through a bit of prologue before you gain access to those battle techniques.
Alright, so now we have Black Toad Skip coming up. This Toad is really obnoxious. It's RNG when and how fast he'll move. So, like, you want to clip into this ledger with the hammer by spinning into him. And then with some precise movement out of bounds, you're able to navigate around the seam and land behind the black toads that normally you would have to talk to and make go away to enter Chapter 1. So, pretty nice.
Nicely done.
It was alright. I got stuck and had to do an extra fall, and I'm not sure why that happened, but I'm just glad I didn't clip him down.
I feel like you also got out of bounds very quickly, though.
I had to wait. Well, I mean, once I had the opportunity to, I got in, like, first or second try, but he made me wait.
That was like an average-ish attempt.
Yeah. It was well executed, just, screw that toad.
So now we're making our way through, this is Pleasant Path, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just Chapter 1 all together. So we're getting coins, we're getting items, and we're on our way to Koopa Village. And there's trouble going on. There's a whole bunch of
music already.
There's a whole bunch of fuzzies running around stealing Koopa shells. And nobody knows why, but we gotta help them out. And by them, I mean a singular Koopa. The one that matters. Never
explain this, do they?
I don't think they do.
This is just a thing that happens, just world building, just a thing that happens to be happening.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, we don't care about any of them except Cooper, who is our next partner here. He had his shell stolen too, so we gotta get it back for him.
Why is he so special? There are a lot of Koopas with missing shells out there that you can save, but Cooper's the only one we bother with. Yeah, he's the blue one.
They should have been wearing a bandana, so that's on them.
Yeah, that's true. If they were wearing fancy clothes, we'd probably help them too.
Like, Cooper looks way cooler than regular Koopas.
Or like glasses or something.
Yeah, glasses.
True. But then we probably just wouldn't talk with them.
I want a visually impaired Koopa. That's what I want. Just astigmatism Koopa.
So we have the fuzzy minigame here. It's pretty straightforward. You're just going to want to hammer the tree with the Koopa shell in it 3 times. But something of note is that this is different on Japanese. They had to tone it down for the English release of this game because it was deemed too quick. So...
To be fair, this is definitely a pain point for new players learning this game. It's the third iteration of this minigame.
Yeah, this took me quite some time to get down. I lost a lot of runs in this game just to this alone. Because it's... What happens is you watch the cutscene, you start a fight that you can't run away from, you gain experience, which matches up your experience route, and then you have to do the cutscene or the minigame again.
Yep.
It is rough.
If you get really lucky, sometimes a coin or a heart drops instead, but that's really rare.
Yeah.
So we cannot run away from this fight. This is not the fastest way to clear this fight, but in the overall scope of the run, it ends up saving time because we get experience from it. The other option is to fright jar them, which is RNG and also doesn't give you the XP, but because we skipped Junior Jerpa at the beginning, we need to make up the experience we lost by not fighting him somehow. And killing the fuzzies is the first way that we do so.
Alright, so we've saved the village, even though we really didn't do anything for anyone else. So we're gonna just head out to Cooper Bros Fortress now.
Yep. we restored peace. Somewhat. I mean, I guess the fuzzies felt bad and gave them all their shells back after we beat them up.
You shoot them off. You scare them off.
Yeah. Very helpful.
Like West Side Story style. You just snap your fingers at them and they ran. Scattered.
I don't remember if I need this. I do.
For the safe route, yeah.
If I'm not sure, I'm just gonna pick it up.
This paratrooper better behave. Okay, he did. That paratrooper is quite nasty.
He is
With
kind
where
of
he can be.
He's a
What's up?
goalie for that fire flower. Oh my goodness! And the he's a goalie for both the fire flower and your coins after you get hit by him.
Yeah, so I guess this is a good opportunity to bring up that enemy spawns on the overworld are RNG. They can move wherever they want, however fast they want, etc. So it makes... Movement is generally consistent throughout rooms, but sometimes you will have to react to enemies being in certain spots, like that paratrooper.
And this guy, although for a different reason. You want to first strike this guy.
Yeah, if you're doing junior skip and you have this FP, you want to save it for later, for when we have to fight another extra encounter. So if you end up not getting the first strike, you have to go out of your way to hit a heart block, which is pretty slow.
Like 3 or 4 seconds if you fail that first strike. It's not a huge deal, but it really adds up. Little things really add up when you speedrun RPGs.
Because there's not really a whole lot of room for, like, saving time after a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
So, they put this key behind this jail. We're not gonna even worry about that. We're not getting any keys in this jail. Spoiler alert, sorry.
Yep, so
we are getting power bounce.
Thankfully, that's not the item locked back there.
Oh, yeah. So now we have a staircase skip.
Oh,
This
yeah.
trick is really cool. Because of Mario being literal paper, he can slip between the edge of the staircase and the wall below him. And with some out-of-bounds movement, you can end up on the second floor because of the way out-of-bounds works in this game. And it gets you past all, like, it saves about 3 or 4 minutes. It skips the pit and that Cooper fight at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, that skip in particular is a pretty big deal.
So you're saying the area in order to get out of bounds there is paper thin?
It really is. It's
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, no. It's exactly it. It's one of the cooler tricks just because of that.
I'm not sorry.
You shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be.
So
Oh
anyway.
no, you fell for the trap. How could you?
Oh no. So the reason we're even here is for Pompette, who's our third partner. She allows us to gain access to Chapter 2. Because you cannot get to Chapter 2 without using her ability to blow up a rock into town.
There are a number of walls that we need to blow up with Bombette, including in Chapter 5 and Chapter 8 as well.
Yep, so she's just overall really good for our cause here.
And she happens to be really good for the fights we need later on.
That is also true.
Lots of damage.
Compared to Cooper and Goombario, Bombette's like what feels like the first real partner you would get in this game.
Yeah,
The other two before are pretty weak, I'll be honest.
Yeah, but Bombette is, like, good throughout the entire rest of the game, unlike the other two.
Yeah. Lots of application for her moves.
So we picked up the Fire Flower just to make this fight really fast.
Yeah, any fire damage given to Bob-ombs, they automatically explode.
Yep.
That's really charming.
Yeah, I think bullet bills are the same way. Don't quote me on that, because we don't use them in speedruns for that.
I think that's true. I think they do explode on impact, like if you jump on them or something.
No, they have HP, but I don't know if fire damage causes them to explode immediately.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think it does, but I'm not sure if Watt's Electro Dash does. I know Watt's Electro Dash blows up the bombs immediately as well as if it were fire damage, but I don't think it does that for the bullet bills. This game is very... this game is very fun. And very consistent.
Alright, so we got Bombette. That's all we needed out of Chapter 1. We got Cooper and Bombette. So we're heading all the way back now to Toad Town to start up Log Skip. So this skips the rest of Chapter 1. This skips fighting the Cooper Bros and Junior Troopa. And as well as watching all the cutscenes that involve saving the Star Spirits. So basically what this entails is we're going to use Ralph, our great buddy who sells badges at the badge shop. We're going to use him to NPC push ourselves into the wall similarly like we did with Black Toad Skip earlier. And with some more out-of-bound movement, we're going to end up on the other side of the logs.
We wait there because Merlin's roof is so extra that it lags the game while it's on screen.
Yeah, there's a couple seconds you can wait because this is on a cycle. This movement from Ralph.
That spinning roof in the back is killer. Ooh.
Nice.
Looks good.
Nice.
That was way faster than I usually get that.
So that is way more apparent of the way out of bounds worked. Whenever you go out of bounds, Mario will fall all the way down, and then for the game to put you back in bounds to try to like save you, I guess, it shoots you way up into the sky. So that's the reason staircase skip works as well, and same with log skip. So you just hold a certain angle before taking the loading zone because you can skew your angle out of the loading zone because of the way loading zones work. They have this whole cinematic with how Mario will always go into the middle of the loading zone, whether he came in from the side or not. So you can use that to skew your angle beforehand.
So this is... I'm gonna be quiet for maybe the whole entirety of Mount Rugged because it's hard. There's a lot of tricky things you have to do here.
Yeah, so we're here in Chapter 2 to get Paracarry. There's a running theme in the enemy percent categories. We're just entering a chapter and getting a partner and getting out. So next up on the partner checklist is Paracarry. He's really strong, really fast in battle. He's required for certain glitches. But he's a pretty clumsy mailman of all things.
There's the boy.
And even though it's his responsibility to get the mail he's lost, that's his problem. He's lost his mail. He wants us to get them for some reason, so we oblige.
Mario's just a really nice guy.
You gotta support the mail services.
Speaking of Mario being a nice guy, don't look at the screen.
If you like Wacka, look away.
Yeah.
Is it 2 Wackas in this run?
Yep. We're gonna come back for him again.
I'm ready for the next one.
While you're bullying Waka, do you have time for a quick donation?
Absolutely.
Alright. Critique Port sent in $10 saying, "Hello, I am currently 15 years old and I want to become a seagull. I know there's a million people out there just like me, but I promise you I'm different. On December 14th, I'm moving to Yoshi Village, home of the great Ezekiel. I've already grafted feathers to my arms, and now I flap everywhere I go as training. I may not be a seagull yet, but I promise you if you give me a chance and the support I need, I will become the greatest seagull ever. Thank you all.
I believe in you, aspiring seagull.
Shout outs to Ezekiel.
If you reach out to Ezekiel, you too can become a seagull. Alright, so we're getting all these letters right now. We're gonna skip this one for right now because it ends up being faster with one of the tricks we're coming up on. But we also need to get that experience we are missing from Junior Troopa, so we're gonna get this letter as well as fight this Cleft here. And Clefts are pretty tanky, so we have to hit this first strike with Bombette.
Yeah, they have 2 defense, so Mario actually has no way to hurt them without items, but Bombette is so powerful that she got us.
Yeah, so we got the first level up of the run. We're gonna level up FP because FP is really important, mainly for Blooper. Blooper is a thing we have to fight later on, and now we have Early Seed coming up. You're intended to use Paracarry to cross the gap to get this seed, but there's a very small gap in collision here on this wall on the bottom that you can clip through. But you need a specific angle, that's why you see M4 running up and down. They're trying to remap the control stick. And with a precise enough angle and a well-timed spin, you can get through the wall just like that. Nice.
Thank you. It's a shame it took me so long to find an angle when it worked, but my controller's got a very bad early seed angle. There's like a dead zone up there, so I just kind of have to take it.
The range of angles is incredibly small. There's like 2 good ones and 1 passable one. And the rest... There's others that work, but they're very difficult because it makes the clip into the rock much more difficult.
I had a harder...
You can just walk out of the rock after you land, right?
Yeah, if you're not very careful, you can do that, and yep, bye Wacka.
Alright, I was ready that whole time for the second one.
Yeah, so Wacka Bumps are so good, but they're really slow to get, so we only get 2 of them. They heal 25 HP and FP, which is super useful for any speedrun in this game. I think the only speedrun category of this game that doesn't get one is, I think, all bosses.
Yeah, all bosses doesn't need one.
It may be no major sequence breaks. Don't quote me on that one. I haven't run that one as much, but
I wouldn't dare.
Wacka Bumps are very, very good. They're used pretty much in all categories. So we've got Paracarry now. So we're gonna dip once again out of chapter 2, and now we get to the holy grail, some would say, of glitches for this game. After we get Speedy Spin, we have to buy Speedy Spin first, actually. Hold on, I'm getting too ahead of myself. So we have to go back to Rop's badge shop to buy a badge called Speedy Spin. That it speeds up Mario's movement when he spins quite significantly, but there's a 75% chance of it showing up. Since there's 3 badges that can show up and there's 4 total that can show up, or 3 badges he will display and there's 4 total.
It sounds good, but when it doesn't show up, it's devastating.
It loses about 25 seconds for every reload. It's brutal.
It's also just bad for my morale.
True.
Me personally.
Oh, there it is.
Right. Nice
There
RNG.
it is.
Best spot too. So now Mario is going to schmove. And we equip Power Bounce as well because we're going to need it in just a moment. So normally, this isn't the normal method you would see for Blue House Skip, but M4 does play on a Horipad Mini, which has a way tinier dead zone on the control stick. So it makes getting on into the house through the jump method much more difficult.
This method is harder, to be honest, but the controller that I use makes the other one, like, nigh impossible.
Now, is that because you have to, like, neutral your stick at some point?
Mhm.
Yes. So with the regular method that clips into the house, you have to jump onto the corner, neutral the stick before you hit the corner, and then jump and immediately rotate the stick. It's like 3 frame perfect inputs back to back. And if your neutral isn't good, then it's pretty much impossible. I've done it on my Hori exactly 1 time, compared to my OEM where I've done it hundreds. So nice LZS. We're in the sewers now.
Yep.
And we're on our way to fight that blooper I mentioned a minute ago. And this guy is annoying. He's not hard, but he is RNG. So power bounce caps work in the way that you're guaranteed a certain amount, and after that, the game will just decide when it's time to kick you off. I haven't been keeping track of this one, but this is one for quite a while. Did you say 19?
17.
So that was a really good one. I was gonna mention the average caps is like 12, 13, and they pull out a 17. But this guy is annoying because if you want to get a good fight, you need the RNG to line up.
That's the highest blooper cap I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah, this guy can cost you about 20 seconds or more, depending, because you're guaranteed at least 8 bounces. So if you get like 8 and 9 multiple times, you have to keep power bouncing instead of shell shotting with paracarry, because you're not doing enough damage. It's brutal.
Yeah, the lowest you can get, the normal range of bounces for blooper is 8 through 18. But the like the ones at the high end, like 15 or higher, I would even say 14 or higher, are just incredibly unlikely. So that was kind of ridiculous. It probably didn't look like anything unusual, but that was the highest one I've ever personally received in any of my speedruns, so...
That's definitely the best one you could ask for, because it's a guaranteed kill if you don't mess up your power bounce.
Yep.
17 from the power bounce and 5 from the shell shot deals 22, so even if you get 8 capped on the following bounce, you still win. Actually the best fight that you could ask for.
Pretty much, unless you get 20, but imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine. That's not happening.
So as one does, you find a fish in a tree.
As one does, yeah.
Oh yeah, so there's some exposition going on. Basically, you're supposed to land on the island and then you explore until you find the volcano, talk to Colorado, and when you get back to the Yoshi village, all the Yoshi kids are gone, and Sushi tried to stop them, but they threw her in a tree, which is kind of ridiculous, but sure. Then you save Sushi, and instead of going to save the Yoshi kids, we're gonna not do that.
Yeah, Brian's gonna use Paracarry to get out of bounds there.
So this is Yoshi skip, Rap skip, however you want to call it. This skips like 15 minutes of the jungle. It's a big
Almost
time
entirety
save.
of it.
Yeah, you step foot in it just to get Sushi, because you can't get her after this point. So now we've got the volcano. We have this cycle-based movement coming up after this text box from Colorado. It's a little difficult because of all the time jumps you have to do, but M4's got it down easy.
True.
Alright, doing some re-equips for later on. We don't need power bounce for a good while.
Excuse how focused I am. This is still the hardest part of the run.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I totally get it.
How dare you be focused on your run?
So, while M4 is focused, I'd love to take this time to remind everyone that we do still have an open bid war incentive for our finale, our marathon finale. You get to choose between Metroid Prime 2 Echoes or Metroid Dread. Which randomizer will Bash Prime have to play through? Right now, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes is sitting at $85 to Dread's $155. But I hear from the runner himself that he's been spending a lot more time with Dread lately. So if you want to give him some more chaos, get those donation dollars in for Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, because we love seeing chaos around here.
It's true. Chaos is always a good time.
I presume that's why Paper Mario was accepted as a backup run, because this game has got a lot happening. Just as soon as you get through Prologue, anyway.
Yeah, we've got the Ultra Hammer now. So we're just making our way through the volcano. Colorado Falls, we're gonna ignore him. He's just eating our time up. We have to hit this upgrade block for some upcoming fights later. We're gonna upgrade Bombat to get Power Bomb. It's a pretty expensive FP move. It costs 6, but even still, it's worth it for how much damage it does.
Yeah, it does 6 damage to every single grounded enemy for 6 FP. And, wow. That is extremely powerful considering we are at level 2 right now. Partner attacks tend to carry a lot of weight in this game. Unless you're playing like 100%, your partners are pretty much always useful unless they're named Goompario or Gooper.
Yeah, no, Mario doesn't really become that much of a tank until like this late in the game, like chapter 6-ish, where you get super jump charge. Then after that, the partners kind of become just cheerleaders.
Yeah, basically. Although on some enemies, or some bosses, they still do some decent damage for you while you're charging up. Like Crystal King is the biggest example of that.
Yeah, Crystal King is super tanky, has a lot of health, a lot of defense, so
Dang.
that extra damage beforehand is really helpful. So yeah, you can para-carry clip through this wall. It's called flare carry. And for some reason, I don't know the specifics either, but para-carry has some weird mechanics where if you use his ability to hover, you can just manipulate Mario's positioning and it gets you through certain like collision. And right after that we have Lava Piranha skip. It's self-explanatory. You skip Lava Piranha, you use Colorado to push yourself out of bounds.
And
we're finishing chapter 5 now.
We have finished chapters 1 through 5 as far as the game is concerned at this point, and we did it without fighting a single boss fight. Now, naturally, that presents a challenge because Mario is level 2. My resources are incredibly limited, and we're about to head into the second strongest chapter of the game. And there are no significant combat skips at this point. Chapter 6 is going to have to be done very tactically due to the lack of power we have, which is one of the more interesting parts of this category. Anyway, remember Peach? Yeah, we skipped 4 Peach intermissions.
Who?
Yeah, you know, this, I don't know why her hair is orange in this game, but you know, this redhead who's been sitting in her castle, in Prologue. We actually get to play as her, surprisingly. So there are Peach intermissions between every chapter, but since we skipped so many chapters, we haven't done any until now. This is the first one.
Yeah,
But
generally the Peach intermissions are like a way of introducing the player to like what's coming up in the next chapters. They like give you small hints on what you have to do next.
I think they're also like cute little like stealth moments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So here we're Peach has Peach has a certain sense. I think we went over this in the rack run at the last event, but Peach has a certain sense for when a game show is going on, and she absolutely has to crash it and ruin everybody's fun. So we're going to follow Peach's instincts right here and just absolutely ruin these guys' days by answering every question instantly and incorrectly, except for like 1 or 2.
This is definitely the funniest intermission because at this point she's explored most of the castle and she just decides upon to like enter this room and she's like, oh, there's a game show?
Yeah.
Let me in.
I think the implication is also funny because like it's her castle. You think she would know what was in it, which means that Bowser's army set up this game show at some point, unwitting to her.
Yeah, no,
right? Like,
I'm pretty sure that's the lore behind it. And then like after this after the quiz is over, Bowser shows up and he's like, "Oh man, you guys were holding a game show and you guys didn't tell me."
Yep.
And he gets all sad about it, and then he sees Peach is here, and he's like, "What?" It's so good. This whole segment is so good.
Anyway, we ruined the game show utterly and entirely because the fastest way to get through the sequence is to make sure nobody wins. And you lose a point for getting answers wrong, and you get a point for getting them right. So what we do is we answer the last two questions in a way that leaves us with 0 points at the end. And they give us a... I suspect that Hammer Bro might be a Peach sympathizer because he gives us a... he gives us the parasol that lets us transform into other characters in the castle. And there's no way, like, why would you do that if you weren't secretly on her side, you know?
hate actor.
According to the text, it's a participation prize, but only she gets it for some reason.
Yeah, that guy's definitely a Peach sympathizer. There's no other way to explain that.
Alright, so at this point we've finished chapter 5, but we need to progress the game, we need to collect all the seeds. So we've been collecting these magical seeds throughout the run, and there's 2 more we have to find, and we need these seeds to enter chapter 6. As of right now, there is no other way to get into chapter 6, unfortunately.
Yep, chapter 6 might be the most solid piece of programming in this entire game.
And that's saying a lot because from a casual perspective, this game is pretty well built, but like, you're watching this, you see how utterly broken this game is.
It's pretty...
Ryan used to describe it to me as this game is put together with glue and paper clips.
Yep.
Like, if you don't go out of your way to like break this game, it's pretty well built. But like, the moment you learn about any of the speedrunning tricks, it like melts immediately.
I forgot.
There's a trick that comes up later that like has the potential to soft lock, right?
It's in chapter 7.
Or is that a different category?
No, it's here. It's in chapter 7, but I'm gonna play it really safe. It's the soft lock's not gonna happen, even if I have to do the clip like 6 times.
There are a couple of tricks that can cause soft locks though, that are used in speedruns.
I remember before the practice ROM was a thing. I remember seeing the crash screen a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we got the volcano vase earlier, and Colorado traded it in for us for the magical seed, and we're making our way through Forever Forest now to get this last seed. And after that, we'll have 4 of them, and we'll have to give all 4 of them to Minty. And usually Oakley's there when you first enter Chapter 3, but we're in a post-Chapter 3 state, so he's just in the void somewhere.
Yeah, he totally disappears after a certain point, I think.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe he's still in the forest and his like
I
house.
think he has that one. He has like that one little like hub in the room before the seed. I can't remember. But we have all 4 of the magical seeds now, so it is time to enter chapter 6.
Yep. I would say that everything's been going pretty smooth, aside from BHS and Rock Climb. Like, even early seed was fine. This has been better than I was expecting.
I just want to acknowledge in the chat real quick.
I'd say so, too.
Trans rights!
Hell yeah, trans rights.
So anyway, here's Flower Fields. This is mostly glitchless. There are 2 optional tricks. I'm honestly not sure if I feel like attempting either of them, to be totally honest, because they both save like 10 to 12 seconds and lose catastrophic amounts of time if you mess them up. So I think I might just play this straight for once in my life.
Yeah, no. When M4 said that chapter 6 is very well built, they were not kidding. This chapter is annoyingly well built. It is very hard to break unless you are playing any percent and only any percent Otherwise, you are playing the whole thing.
Yep. If you want to finish Chapter 6, you are doing it exactly how the devs wanted you to. There's no way around that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it really fights back.
The main exception is like, you're probably like casually you would probably talk to Posey first, the one with the long nose that gives you the soil, and then later on she gives you the crystal berry. But in the speedrun, you get both at the same time. Otherwise, the chapter is exactly the same as you remember from when you were a kid.
Anyway, we're so weak, except for the Ultra Hammer. So that is what we are using here. And the Ultra Hammer single target, we have to time a level up here, so that we actually have enough resources to kill the moles, because Mario has so few resources at this point in the run.
So I hope you guys really like the move Starstorm.
Oh yeah.
I'm just letting you know right now. These moles have 12 HP. They are a total pain to deal with.
They have 12 HP, and might I remind you, our jump is still doing 2 damage, so...
Yeah, Mario's super underpowered at this point.
Thankfully, the Star Spirit system just gives you everyone you're supposed to have when you clear a chapter. So we have Solar, who has the Starstorm ability, which deals 7 to everything on screen and pierces defense. So we are going to make extremely good use of that ability for Mario's turn, because otherwise he's not doing any damage, really.
Funnily enough, he does not work at all on Monstar.
Yeah!
and also only does 1 or 2 damage, depending on the version you play, to Hallway Bowser, when he has the Star Shield up.
Yep.
Besides that, it's fair game.
So now we've leveled up, and that, wow, I got really unlucky with moles.
Nice RNG.
Jeez.
On the last 2 moles.
That was kind of gross. So,
yeah, these guys are really annoying with how they spawn too, because if you try to wait for them out to react to when they'll pop up, they'll just not do anything. So you have to actively move around to get these guys to pop out of the ground.
and it's RNG where they show up. They have a very wide range of locations where they can pop out of the ground that you have to react to.
It's especially annoying in basically every other category that's not this one, because you have Mega Rush, and at most times you are going to do a first strike on some of the moles, and you can just miss. Or they pop up underneath your feet.
Both very annoying.
Fun things to just deal with moles.
So this room is a fun nickname.
Yeah, we've got Death Room here.
You'll be able to see why.
It's pretty appropriate. The hallway is very narrow. There's a giant bee trying to kill you. There's a cloud. But we need this yellow berry to progress. And I think the reason most people end up dying here starting out is because they get encountered somehow by the cloud. And they try to cheat their way with the invincibility frames and then get caught by the bee.
That is extremely common. I know that happened to me several times when I was learning this game.
Yeah, no, if you get encountered by that cloud on the way back after the yellow berry, you have to. That bee demands your respect.
You could actually see when I was going through there on the way there, I lured the bee extra far to the right, because if you get really unlucky, the bee can go far enough left while you're trying to dodge the cloud that he stings you. And if that happened, I would have to backtrack and eat red berries from the berry tree, and that would be really slow, so I was trying to just be a little extra safe there. That room is terrifying, even to more experienced runners sometimes.
So I've got a question in chat asking what your favorite Paper Mario game is. And I mean, I'd love to hear from the chat. Of course, I can only read donations. That's my limitation as a host. But also, M4 and company, what are your favorite Paper Marios?
Definitely 64. I have put I don't dislike the newer Paper Marios. Like you'll hear a lot of runners and casual fans say. Also, I think I was supposed to get that later. Oh well. Paper Mario 64 is just so good. It's the only one I have any inclination to speedrun, and I do like Color Splash and Origami King, but they're just not the same. Even TTYD like removed a lot of things that I really like about 64. So I don't even like TTYD as much as the original, but they're all good games, except maybe Superstar.
I have the same opinion. I think 64 is my favorite by far. I think my big thing with 64, like even just removing it from speedrunning, I just think 64 is like very consistent in how good it is. But I think the highs in TTYD are very, very good, but the lows are really, really low. The consistency that 64 has alongside the fun movement brings me back to it even now.
I actually forgot what to do when he spawned the Spiny right there.
I think I have to agree with Morph. I think that's the best way I could describe Thousand Year Door. Is the good parts are really good, and then the not so good parts are pretty hindering. But also special shout out to Bug Fables.
Also a very good game. Yeah. I played, I haven't finished Bug Fables, so I played through maybe 90% of it, and I had a really good time with it. I might return to it eventually. I only stopped playing it because my power went out, and I hadn't saved in a while, so I was like, I don't feel like doing all this over again, so I just never played it again. Whoops.
Yeah, so this is Rosie. Nobody likes this character.
Yeah,
She's just...
What's she called Rosie?
Oh, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, she's just a mean person. Like, you let her know about... So, the whole idea of Chapter 6 is it's a bunch of fetch quests. Well, except Petunia. She's just kind of on her own, removed from all that, but essentially we're doing all this fetch questing to get the Miracle Water and Fertile Soil. And you let Rosie know about Lily's plight. She doesn't have her Water Stone anymore. And Rosie's just like, oh wow, that's terrible. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what happens.
And she's like, unless you bring me something prettier, I'm not giving up this Water Stone. She's very materialistic and evil. No one likes her.
She is holding Lily's life hostage over vanity.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, I cannot comprehend how I didn't get hit there.
Spinies are so confusing. They're probably the most infuriating enemy to me in this game.
I didn't even see the Spiny until after you said that. I was like, wait, what happened?
I basically touched it. There's no way I was more than like a few units away from that thing.
If I existed in this world, that would have been like an equivalent of like me stepping on a rake and smacking myself in the face. That's exactly what I would have done. Tom and Jerry style.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh.
Alright, so we've got the Water Stone. Rosie said, wow, this crystal berry is way prettier than this ugly old thing. So she just gives it back to us. So now that we're about to get the Miracle Water, we got the Fertile Soil from Posey, and we got the Magical Bean from Petunia, from saving her from the moles. So the whole premise of this chapter is that we have Huff and Puff. He's the main bad guy controlling everything behind the scenes. He's up in the clouds, and we don't have a way to reach him right now, but we're about to get all the materials necessary, but we don't have the sun to, plant that bean and let it sprout. So we gotta figure out what to do about that.
Yep, so here we are, planting the Water Stone, saving Lily's life, filling the water back up. The plants
and there's a rainbow there? I didn't know that rainbow was there until just now.
I don't know why there's a rainbow when the sun is on a tower instead of in the sky, but you know.
I didn't notice that until just now.
Yeah, that's always confused me a little bit. Anyway, so now the only thing we need after this point, we have the seed, the magical bean, we have the water, the mystical water, and we have the soil, the fertile soil that we got from these flower fields NPCs, and now we just need sunlight. So we're going to get sunlight.
So we're gonna literally go talk to the sun to tell him, hey, can you get back up there?
Yeah.
And see what he says.
Yeah, then we have to solve his problems as well.
Just imagine in like real life, if you needed something, you had to go talk to the sun, and the sun was like, I need you to do this thing for me. And you're like, I bet.
Imagine questing for the sun. This game's very charming.
This is definitely like the most out there chapter up to this point.
Oh, that was nice. I don't usually get that
That's
spin
been
cancel.
canceled.
Yeah.
That one is so cool.
So,
Alright, so this is Bubble Plant. He's a very simple plant. He just tells you immediately, I want a bubble berry. So you're like, okay, let's get you that bubble berry, buddy.
like, all right, dude, I got
You say
you.
so.
He's very forward about it compared to the colored plants who are just like, I need something yummy to eat. And I'm like, well, that's not very helpful now, is it?
It sure isn't.
Yo, like frame one out of that bubble, that bee was like coming for your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that bee's RNG. You can, worst case scenario, you can get first struck, which is pretty much run ending in other categories. Like you legit just die because you're in peril at this point.
Thoughts
You
though?
can probably eat a life shroom in this category and be fine, but it sucks.
Yeah, if I got first struck by him, my plan was to eat a life shroom and then save before Huff.
Yeah. So this is the sun. We ask him to go up. He's like, no, I can't do that. There's clouds everywhere. Can you get rid of the clouds? And we're like, okay. Because Mario just knows how to do that.
Yeah, he really does.
I think he specifically mentions the puff puff machine that we have to break.
Yeah, he tells you about it.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go do that. But here's
And this
Lackluster. This guy, Michael, Jonathan, Spike, whatever you want to call him.
Michael Jonathan.
He's got a lot of names, but
Michael
Right now,
Jonathan Spike Lester.
for as much of a pushover as he has a lot of health.
Oh yeah, especially for
So-
Mario's very weak state.
But this fight's pretty simple. We're just going to spam power jump shell shot, the tried and true combo. And we have to hit all these blocks because unless you get a close call, you will die if you miss a block.
I don't think you've explained the close call like during this run yet.
Oh yeah, no, this is the first fight that it would become relevant. So at 5 HP or less, you have a 30% chance of just dodging an attack and it'll completely whiff. So you can imagine how fast that is, because in certain most circumstances where close call is relevant, if you get a close call, it saves an entire life shroom, and a life shroom animation is about 10 seconds, maybe more.
And then you have to replace the life shroom.
Yeah. So, as much as you'll hear a lot of runners not say good things about close call, but it is a necessary evil.
It's one of the badges that's so powerful that it makes the speedrun worse.
Yes,
there are a few badges that are like that. Close call is maybe the biggest offender in any percent categories.
Close call and Mega Rush for sure.
Yeah.
So, we beat up Lackluster, and he's like, man, this Huff guy's kind of whack. I'm gonna join Mario. And he joins us.
What a homie.
So, now that we have Lackluster, normally when you're playing this game as intended, your next step is to go to the upper right and destroy the Puff Puff machine, but you need a boots upgrade to ground pound the block puzzle. And we don't have a boots upgrade, so we have to go back to the sewers. We're gonna get the Ultra Boots immediately, so we can finish up Chapter 6. And it gives us that extra little bit of damage for Huff that you normally wouldn't have in other routes because they have super boots instead.
That clip is way easier with Lackey, isn't it?
It sure
Oh, yeah.
is.
But this is probably one of the scarier parts of the run. You just fought Lackey, and now you have to go through the sewers at 1 health. It's probably one of the more nerve-wracking sections of the run, I'd say.
It
Especially
is.
because of this room, this spiny room.
Oh,
I've
man.
lost many runs to this room because they're just so variable, basically. But pretty good movement so far. Here's the Ultra Boots here. Good damage on them. They're useful for some glitches too, so we'll be explaining those later. We're gonna get this little life shroom here. with some movement manipulation on that Dark Koopa. Looks scary, isn't actually so scary. It's probably like 90% of a lot of things in this game. It looks pretty scary, but it's actually not. These rooms actually are, though.
Speak for yourself. I find this game horrifying.
I apologize. Oh my god.
I had a paper cut once, and this is very upsetting to me.
So the reason I took that loading zone is because their position is RNG, because they can move around, but taking the loading zone meant that they were in the exact same position every time when I decided to go, when I had to go back by them again. Otherwise, there's RNG, and if you get first struck by one of them, you lose a life shroom, and this route, that is really, really, really bad. You're very life shroom starved up until mid-chapter 7-ish. So that was just a big safety thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, we've got some new shoes. We're gonna go break some blocks, or move some blocks, rather. And you probably noticed we also got that shooting star in the sewers. We've been picking up a lot of items throughout the course of the run. And that's mainly because even though Mario, like, at this point is gonna handle the bosses mostly by himself, he still really sucks against these common enemies that we're required to fight, because they come in like formations of 3 or 4. So we can't really do that much on his own, like he could like a singular enemy, like a boss. So we're getting all these items to take care of them. And we have the machine fight coming up here. This is one of my favorite fights because, you know, there's not many other uses of this item. We get to use a Dizzy Dial, and they have a 100% chance of working on the Lakitus, and a 75% chance on the Magic Koopa.
Nice.
But if it doesn't work on the Magic Koopa, it's okay because he's dumb and will just electrify his friends instead of, you know, killing Mario at 1 health. So this fight's really cool in that aspect. That it just happens to work out with Dizzy Dial, because there's not many other fights that use stats effects like this.
Yeah, it's very unusual, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's very much out there. Before, you would have to like fully heal Mario, and then you would Thunder Rage the first turn, and then every Lakitu would get their own turn in, and then the Magic Koopa would electrify one of them. So it was very slow back then.
Yeah,
so that fight saves a ton of times.
Yeah, using the Dizzy Dial animation, in addition to the other two, is actually faster than letting them take their own turns one time.
They're really slow too, because they fly up all the way to you, charge the Spiny Toss, and then throw it.
Yep.
It's really slow. So we broke the Puff Puff machine. Everyone's happy. But now we gotta go beat up Huff and Puff. So we're on our way back to Wise Whistlewood, that's his name?
Yep. Wise Whistlewood.
The big tree. The big tree, dude. He's gonna tell us to plant all the stuff we've gathered throughout the fetch quest of Chapter 6.
Treethan. Yeah, that works.
Treethan.
I'll take that. Yeah, he's the guy whose mouth we entered this area through.
Yeah, I guess we just glossed over him.
Yeah. He is actually a character.
But yeah, basically he tells us that we have to plant this stuff to reach Cloudy Climb, which is where Huff and Puff resides. So we get this extra long cutscene. We grow a giant beanstalk to get all the way up there.
I'm just now noticing Treethan's eyes are like ridiculously sad.
Even after you help out Flower Fields, he's pretty bummed out.
Yeah, look.
He's also got one giant eyeball with 2 pupils.
He's got like an internal look of like, I have a tummy ache.
Yeah, he really does.
Truly is the strongest warrior dealing with tummy aches.
So I'm gonna save here because there is a 2.7% chance that this fight doesn't work at all. and it's related
Yeah,
to the
so-
power bounce cap thing we were talking about earlier with Blooper. Of course, if I get RNG like that on Huff, we're gonna save like a minute over my PB, so we'll see what happens here.
So before we fight Huff, there is a badge on the way up here. It's called Super Jump Charge, and it's basically like what the end game looks like for any Paper Mario speedrun. Basically revolves around Mario charging up, getting really strong, and then just dealing all the damage in one move with power bounce. So that's super important, and it matters a lot on this fight because we don't have any like passive upgrades at this point, like Mega Rush or Power Rush, to get extra damage for being in danger or peril. So the bounce cap really matters on this fight. A 4 cap loses about a minute and a half. A cap meaning what you're guaranteed, like what the game stops you at, it caps you. You're guaranteed at least 3, which is 2.7% chance M4 alluded to. We don't want to see that. That's scary.
I'm gonna focus. I'm also going to take a safety here.
Yeah, so
The cap exists so you don't like infinitely bounce on the enemy, right? Like in RPG.
yes.
Those videos are funny, in case y'all haven't seen those. People just breaking the number display by bouncing infinitely.
Nice smash. So M4's taking a safety strat here to save a life stream potentially, in case of not getting a close call. So if you attack Huff, his cloud minions will come out, and then he'll always eat them up in the first turn to heal, and then he'll skip to his wind attack. So M4 is gonna mash to 3 damage here, and that gives them just enough HP to block the butt stomp attack to end up at 1 health, so that they save a life stream even without a close call.
Nice.
Yeah. What bounce do we get?
Of course.
Yikes. Yeah.
Marathon luck there.
So this loses a lot of time.
There-
You don't want to see a close call in this one.
Yeah.
You really don't. Oh,
What do you know?
So
What?
that's really bad. So
Ah.
the fast thing to happen here is, so we have to Starstorm. He has 15 health left, I believe.
Mhm.
He has 15 health, so we're gonna Starstorm and use Spiny Flip with Lackluster. And the fast thing that happens here is we get 2 more close calls, which is like 9%. Or you die. That's the alternative. There is nothing else. You have to close call both.
I'm not even gonna
If this-
mash.
Yeah, no.
Squeeze me.
So, yeah, that's unfortunate. So,
Dang.
I'm pretty sure he gets his lightning attack here. Doesn't
No,
he?
he doesn't because of the
Okay.
dudes.
Because you die. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so never mind. You don't need 2 close calls. This is the funny fight, actually,
Yeah.
because you can jump ×1. I wasn't sure if he got his lightning attack off, because I've seen that happen.
So yeah, that was basically the worst possible fight you can get without game overing.
Yeah,
But it's fine.
that was Huff and Puff trying to be funny.
Because I took the safety strat, that is almost certainly what made me leave with 1 life sherm instead of 0 out of that situation, so I'm thankful for that. So, unfortunate RNG, but we were prepared for it, and everything is good. So now we've cleared Chapter 6. The first Star Spirit we have legitimately saved was the second hardest one.
Yeah, if you've ever heard anyone talk about Hallway Bowser in regular NA%, Huff and Puff is basically just Hallway Bowser, but 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
So, we're off to another Peach segment. This is the last playable one in the run. It's also the second playable one in the run, because No Peach Warp just skips a lot of these. And so does any percent, actually. They watch the same Peach cutscenes. Any other category has significantly more of this, but anyway, we're gonna use that consolation prize from the Totally Not a Peach Stan to go ahead and sneak around the castle a little bit and learn more about Bowser's plans.
I like the idea of that Hammer Bro going on Twitter later being like, you gotta stand Princess Peach.
Yeah.
She's killing it with the different colored hair. What can I say?
Yeah, for real.
Do you think they have Twitter?
I don't know.
I wonder what
That's a
they
good
would
question.
tweet.
I wonder what Toads would tweet if they had Twitter.
Cake recipes.
Well, definitely shroom cake recipes. Maybe skincare for their caps? I don't know. I wonder what the skincare routine, because those are like part of their body, right?
Are they?
I wonder what the I don't know.
Honestly, I can't give a definitive answer.
But imagine the care routines for their shroom caps. This is what Paper Mario speedrunners think of while doing these sections, by the way. We get really bored doing these over and over again. So anyway, that guy that we talked to before was looking for a clubba who is sleeping and late for his shift. So we go transform into him to be led into the top secret meeting at the top of the castle. They're getting ready for the perceived inevitability of Mario reaching the end of the game. So they're kind of going on lockdown, upping security, and getting ready for the big confrontation at the end.
The walk cycle for this character is so funny to me.
It is. He
What?
doesn't really have
Oh
legs.
man, I'm late.
He has
There's like
nubs.
little nubs.
So yeah, that's the last playable Peach scene. You can untransform by pressing B at any time, which gives a lot of speedrunners anxiety, because if you detransform here, you're gonna lose your run. Pretty much. Thankfully, you know,
Yeah.
you don't have to. It's just always on our mind, so we might accidentally press that button and throw, but so far, so good. We're out of it.
Yeah, the entire time I do this segment, I am holding the B button. There is no clamp on the controller. It was me using my index on the B button and my thumb for the A button to activate text. I am always nervous in this section. For no reason, really. But now we've saved Clevar? Yeah, Clevar.
Yep.
So we're
Get
gonna
it.
yeah. We're gonna head out. And I think this is the only chapter that you don't get an explicit hint on where to go next.
I believe you're right. The only hint you get is if you go into Merlin's house.
To get a hint.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
And
just
the hints-
happening.
Yeah, and then you walk in like, God, where am I supposed to go? And then finally, you're like, oh, it's this guy. So he tells you you gotta go to Starborn Valley, aka Shiver City. That's all connected. So those blocks we hit in the sewers earlier are the path to Chapter 7.
Yep, it is slightly faster to hit them since you're since you're passing them, or then since you were passing them with the Ultra Boots already, than it is to do the whole sequence here.
Tracks, yeah.
Dang it.
That movement is impossible.
Impossible, you say? Yeah, it's pretty impossible.
Oh.
It's impossible for the amount of time it saves.
Yeah, it's really not worth it at all, but I feel
Gotta
like
show off.
I feel like being a show off tonight.
I totally endorse it.
Also, same. Penguins.
Penguins!
I like penguins.
You know, I would say the same, but in the context of this chapter, I hate these penguins. Not even because they do anything wrong. Well, they do, actually. They get in your way so often.
I fell down. I've never done that before.
I've never seen that. I'm sorry. I can't say that I've ever seen that.
Okay. I've never
Right.
done that nor seen anybody do that before. I'm impressed with myself.
So, what we're doing right now, there's a whole murder mystery that's supposed to be activated when you go talk to the mayor. But we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to skip ahead. And we're going to talk to this guy. He's basically the mayor's best friend for life, from what I remember of the text. It's been a while.
Yep, but since he writes thrillers about murder, he must be the killer. That is literally why we bring him here.
He's the expert.
No, I think he was a suspect in the lore.
I think so.
We were like, I don't know who killed him. It must have been this guy. Yeah.
But yeah, the mayor's wife walks in on us talking to what looks like the mayor's corpse, and we get accused, but we don't care about any of that, so we just laggy clipped into one of the buildings and just activated I'm pretty sure it's a story trigger when talking with him.
Yeah, skipping the whole scene where they find us.
So we just showed up to solve this murder mystery that Mario had no narrative way of knowing was even happening because we didn't go over there.
He definitely doesn't know who this guy is.
Now this is meta.
You know, then I think the lore is he just slipped and fell by accident, and that's it.
Yep, he slipped trying to get this thing off the shelf, and nobody thought to check his pulse. They just saw him laying down with X eyes, and were like, "Oh no, he's dead."
And then his wife is like, "I knew that."
Yeah, there are no doctors in Shiver City, I guess. Anyway, we have to do this so that we can leave Shiver City.
Yeah, even with the upcoming glitch, the loading zone is literally inactive, so we have to do this. But the upcoming glitch is sushi glitch.
One of the few times where the big game devs were like, no, this part of the plot is important. You can't skip this.
Yeah, no, the loading zone literally just doesn't work if you try to do this early. But there are not many docks that work this way. I don't know the specifics myself, but on a certain point of the dock, you can mash C down, and it'll put Sushi in that rideable state, and you can just use her on land.
There's a death risk. Sorry to cut you off. There's a death risk in this fight if you have only one life stream, and there's a soft lock risk on the trick that we do after this, so that's why I saved there.
Yeah, this fight you're generally very favored to win this fight, but there is a loss condition if you get a 4-cap and no close calls. You will lose.
It literally has to be 0 and you have more than one chance.
It has to be both together, no close calls and a 4-cap.
Yep.
And the odds of one close call isn't very likely, but getting 2 is around a coin flip, I believe.
It is. You are slightly favored to get one. It's like 51% likely to get one between 2 opportunities, which is what this fight is. So there, we didn't get the first one.
And the 4-cap chance is 16%. So like, all of these numbers are like very much in your favor, but it's possible to die here still. So we're gonna charge one more time. Do nothing with Sushi because it's slow. It's slow to attack with her. And we're gonna hope for 5 at least. 6 is fast.
Okay,
Nice.
we good.
Nice.
So belly flop will kill here.
No death. Although we now do not have any light shrooms.
This fight terrifies me, even though it's theoretically very good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, 16%, that's bigger than it sounds.
It is. But even
Like 1/6, I think.
but the 16% along with the near coin or the coin flip that is close call, you'd think maybe you would survive pretty much like 9 times out of 10. I've died to this fight so many times.
I've died in this fight several times as well. It just sucks that this comes after Huff, because Huff is like, yeah, I can cost you a minute and a half if I want. And then Junior comes and he can finish the job if you get unlucky, even a little bit.
Yeah. So right now, you probably noticed when we finished fighting Junior, Mario was able to move off of Sushi. Whenever you finish an encounter, or run away from one in this case, you can start moving normally again with Mario. And so we use that to get into the next room quickly. And you have to keep Sushi out. That's important because we're going to change partners here in this fight to Lackey. So we need Lackey for the next glitch coming up, so he's going to be our next partner.
Jeez, that bar was high.
That runaway stuff.
Scary.
So now we have ice staircase skip. This trick is very precise. It can soft lock you in some situations, which is pretty spooky. But the whole idea is you clip into this wall here, and with some good execution, you can maneuver around onto the seam, and that puts you in a good position to just skip this whole staircase sequence entirely. And we get mega jump on the way. There's two different methods for this trick. Over a minute for sure.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the stairway going up is a long cutscene.
Yeah, very well executed. That trick is not easy.
Thank you. And Chapter 7 actually has become very difficult with the advent of small statue skip. Yep.
Yeah, you're pretty much not home free at all until the star rod's in your hands at this point.
Mm. So I will be focusing probably for most of the palace.
Yeah, now we have mirror clip coming up. Lackey is a very broken partner, as we've probably seen already. But similar to that house clip we did earlier, we're going to put Lackey in a weird state so that when he starts moving again, he just shoots all the way to the left, and that gives him enough speed to push us through the mirror. And this lets us skip having to get the blue key and having to hit the switch to... No, we don't skip the blue key, we skip hitting the switch to get to the other side. This skips also a Dupligos fight, so it saves a lot of time and skips out on some experience too.
I don't know what's happening right now. He didn't shoot left at all that time.
This trick does not look intuitive.
It's not.
It's very awkward, because with the way Lackey works, if you push him against some collision, like we're doing here,
There we go.
There it is.
If you push him physically, you can, or he won't move behind you until you press C down. But if you move fast enough and far enough, he will do that. So that's why it's important that like you have to walk all the way across the mirror, which is why this trick sucks to reset up.
Right, because it takes a long time.
It is very slow if you fail it, and I just failed it like 3 times. In my defense, I am very rusty.
Hey, don't worry. I wasn't rusty and I failed it 3 times in my PB.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I see the question if we're playing on N64 or VC. This is original hardware, N64. Which is the vast majority of Paper Mario players play on N64 because the experience is just the best out of every console.
Yeah. VC is faster.
Console.
VC is faster for this game, but it ends up controlling much worse than N64. So a lot of runners opt to play on slower hardware for better gameplay.
Yeah, so the vast majority, pretty much all of the competition nowadays is on N64, despite it being... it is only faster than the Wii Virtual Console release. And the Wii is an interesting case because it is actually the most stable version. The problem with it, it's the most stable and it loads faster than N64. The problem just being that there is some extreme slowdown issues during several parts of the run. Like, if you look at the prologue time between an N64 and a Wii Runner, the Wii Runner might be ahead by like 20 seconds just out of prologue on load times alone. But they lose all of it during like Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 and the pre-final Bowser cutscene at the end.
Ends up being really slow too with the power bounce. So like, the only like really okay category you can run without experiencing slowdown issues that will affect your gameplay, like even your power bounces, is 10%.
Yeah. Switch.
Does that include for Nintendo Switch also? Like, is that version any viable?
Switch is... It has some very unique problems to it, but it's not a terrible experience. I would say it's probably the best VC.
I think it is.
But it has an audio delay problem that like some people just cannot tolerate.
Yeah, no, I can't.
The input delay, though, is shockingly low, considering that it's, you know, being streamed to your console from Nintendo servers. Like, it's really not that bad. I think it might even be a little better than Wii U in that aspect.
It definitely is, but I think if I ever tried running Switch, I would have to play with no audio, because the audio is that, like, integral to me.
It's like
it messes me up a lot.
It's like a full second desynced or something.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's pretty bad.
A whole second is a lot.
It's just exacerbated by capture card issues too. Like how no HD capture card is like truly instant. So especially if you're listening to the audio through your capture, it's just horrific. But it's like a great casual experience. They did a very good job with that release. There are some things that, you know, could be better, but it's probably second to N64.
The main exception being the one more people will notice for sure is the pause menu.
Yeah, the pause menu is... They added artificial lag to the pause menu, and there are some theories about why they did that, but we don't know for sure.
Refer to the save glitch, the one that would like crash the game.
They patched that, actually.
Oh, they actually did fix that, yeah. That's the WAT one, right?
Yeah.
Is that the WAT one?
Yeah.
The WAT one.
How'd they fix that?
Alright, so...
I set
quick...
I set that up so fast that I had to wait for the reflection. That's unusual.
Yeah, you did. This is Cooper Puzzle Skip. This is the only reason we need Cooper in this category, and pretty much any category that's not any percent, is to do this trick. Because you cannot progress through Chapter 7 otherwise. And now, right after that, really easy trick. We have one of the harder tricks in the game now. We have Small Statue Skip. So you can clip onto the statue with the Ultra Boots, and with a precise jump and a well-timed Ultra Boots cover, you can clip out of bounds and skip having to push the statue on the other side of the mirror. That
saves nearly a minute in this category, and it's also possibly the hardest trick in the category now. I think it is, without a doubt.
I think by far.
Yeah.
I think that looked easy.
I worked on the setup extensively, and I'm still at the time of this run, I'm the only person who's ever done that in a speedrun.
When I play again, Copium.
Hey, soon, TM.
Soon, TM. But we're on the verge of finishing up Chapter 7 here. We just got this one last puzzle here. Just gotta push these albino dino statues into their proper spots, and we'll be fighting Crystal King. Which has a pretty interesting strat. You don't get to see this move pretty often. Because Crystal King is a late game boss, and he is gonna get his turns, we can't keep up with the amount of damage he does to us. So we have to use Chill Out, which is the Star Spirit ability gained from Chapter 4. And what that does is it lowers the enemy's attack by 3 for 4 turns, I believe. They're saving here because there's also a 2.7% chance of dying.
Yep.
Because reasons. But yeah, we have to use Chill Out here. It's pretty unique because there's not many opportunities in other speedruns of this game to use Star Spirit abilities like that. Mainly because in other categories that aren't any percent, you're very capable of just handling whatever the game has to dish out, generally.
So
I say generally because of Bowser.
It's really funny that we use Chill Out on the ice boss.
It's so cool. I really like this strategy. Because even though we're blocking for 0 damage on these attacks, we still have to make sure we block all of them. Because once the Chill Out wears out, we have to charge an extra time, and he's gonna get his next attack in, and if we miss any blocks, we will die.
Any blocks in the entire fight, no less.
It's 9 blocks total.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of the way the level ups worked out, there is no refresh backup or something.
Yeah, we have. There's
even know if you
nothing.
Yeah, no, depending on the RNG you get in Chapter 6 for the maze fight that we lost over, you can level up early or late, and that would affect how much star power you have here. So there's the last one. We get one more charge here. Do nothing with Paracarry, and hope 4 at least. Preferably 5.
Alright, we're good.
Nice.
Not even capped. Where was that on Huff? Huh? That is...
Yeah, no, the cap requirements on every fight after Huff are nowhere near as egregious for a good fight. And that's only because of Huff's mechanic of the way he splits up. Otherwise, we would definitely damage him the same way.
Okay.
Wow, that fight's really way more annoying than I think it is now.
It's not great, yeah. Well, here we are. That is Chapter 7. There is a lot to do in Chapter 8, so... we still have to set up for Bowser. You might notice we only have 4 items, but we're actually going to do, like, some item duplication in a bit. I need to... read what items we're supposed to have.
So while you're getting that set up, I'd love to just give a quick update. Our poll incentive for our finale, Metroid Dread versus Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, which randomizer will Bash Prime be playing? That is now... Metroid Dread is still in the lead at $155, but Metroid Prime 2 Echoes is now at $110. So again, there's still plenty of time for Metroid Prime 2 Echoes to overtake Metroid Dread. You chat, you are able to decide what our finale will be. So !donate in chat will get you that link, and all of this is benefiting the great cause that is LEAD, linking efforts against drugs.
Okay,
You can do with chat.
I think I figured out what I'm supposed to do. So the route correction that I thought I was supposed to do, turns out we already get the item that I was going to get for that, so I was like trying to scramble to figure out how to set up the dupe, but I think we're good. We already grabbed several of them, but it's not that. It's just a where do I dupe situation that I had to figure out. I counted up the items just to be sure.
Yeah, as
so
much as I've played
okay.
this game in all of the categories, most of the categories, I should say, I have no experience with this route. I switched from the super safe route to the very risky route, so I never did any of this item duplication shenanigans that are being set up right now for this category. No joke, I thought you were going to drop down and grab the pebble.
Oh, that would have been quite funny, but yeah, no need, thankfully. Although I'm not gonna lie, when I was like trying to figure out what extra item I needed to get, I considered grabbing it. It's like right there.
Yeah, it really is. It's not that slow.
But assuming I've done my item math correctly, we should be fine.
And as long as you have 10 items, you can still set it up. You would just have to do some reordering at some point.
Yeah. But I think we're safe. So now we're just heading to Chapter 8. It's gonna take a couple minutes for us to get there. Nothing really happens.
There's a lot of movement.
If the host has anything to say, we've got a few minute chunk of time that we can give you.
All right, well, we did have a $25 donation earlier with no comment, but thank you so much. And Baja Blood sends in $20 saying, Space Jump Boots? Butter those? And that is going, again, to our randomizer. So now Metroid Prime 2 is at $130. It's just $26 away from overtaking Dread. And that brings our total up to $1,896.93. That's over 90% of the way to our goal. It's almost actually 95% of the way to our goal of $2,000 for this event. I'd love to see if I could maybe get that screen in because my hosting shift actually ends at the end of this run. So, you know, if you let me announce that we've hit $2,000, that'd be pretty high. Just saying.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's get there, guys. I believe in you, Twitch chat.
I also saw some amazing copy pasta in chat earlier, and staff can attest that I've been stewing in Discord begging to be allowed to read some of those aloud, but I can only read donations. So, you know, chat, you can make my dreams come true.
Alright, we've got Starway on deck. This room is annoying for all the wrong reasons. This camera is so awkward, but with some really precise movement, you can dodge these embers.
That room is
Like-
probably 100 times more difficult than it looks.
I think it's like top 5 hardest rooms in the
Yeah,
game.
that low-key is like one of my focus rooms. I pretty much never say anything when I'm doing runs, when I'm in there. I even talk during death rooms sometimes, but not that.
I think for me, hardest room will always be Green Station. I despise that room.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thankfully,
You
we
guys
didn't have to
didn't
do
get to
that.
see
Yeah.
You guys didn't get to see it in this run, but there's a room in Chapter 4 that I think it's by far the hardest room to do in a speed run, to do well. The camera's awkward, you have to time your hammers cancels. It's just nutty. I do not like that room. But we saved all the star skirts, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So they give us the bathtub, as we call it in the speedrunning community.
The space bathtub that we're taking as our vehicle to go pay Bowser a little visit.
Yeah, it's all time for Chapter 8. And Chapter 8 has its own host of glitches, but actually not that many, to be honest, but they are all scary. Except the first one.
I honestly am of the opinion that in glitched categories, the execution of the final boss gauntlet is more impressive to me personally than getting through Chapter 8 up to that point. Because depending on the fights you're doing, of course, the end gauntlet, especially when you have low stats like in No Peach Warp, is pretty difficult to execute correctly.
Yeah, for sure. Especially keeping track of, like, what kind of RNG you got. Like, oh, I got this amount of close calls. Where's my Repel Gel or Jammin' Jelly or whatever? Because it'll be in different spots depending on which life streams you used or didn't use.
I don't normally do that, but I'm gonna kill the Koopa Trolls, I think. Yeah. It is, it loses 6.8 seconds, but there's a 5% chance that the normal fight doesn't work. And at which point you have to wait 25 seconds, basically. So this, at the cost of 7, we won't have to deal with it.
I really did not like that strategy. I don't like it still.
Yeah, we still have to use it on the Dupligos, unfortunately, but
Yeah, that's fine. Those give way more experience than these guys, but I did not like that up and away was a thing on that fight.
yeah, me neither.
So now we've got some pretty tight movement. Bowser really likes his narrow hallways. Because they are filled with enemies and they're not so hard to avoid, but you need to time your spins really well as your jumps, because if you jump too high, you're gonna land on a Koopa. If you spin too fast, or like if you don't spin quite the right way, you'll get encountered. It's just really, like, not that easy as it looks. So, here's one of the bombable walls we need Bombat for. We're gonna grab this Tasty Tonic and the Life Shroom in these boxes to set up for that item duplication we've been talking about the past couple of minutes. And the way, I don't exactly know the way item duplication works, but basically we have our Repel Gel in a certain spot on the item screen so that when we eat something that's above it. Is it? No, eat something below it.
Mhm.
If we eat something that's below the repel gel, the item above the repel gel will get deleted.
Yeah.
So we have some. So the junk item we have above the repel gel is the tasty tonic.
Yeah, you trick the game into incorrectly overwriting your new inventory over the old one, and it does it in such a way that the item above the item that you toss when you do the duplication gets deleted in favor of a second copy of the item you threw. Pretty cool stuff.
All thanks to Lackey.
Wow.
There is a version that doesn't use Lackluster, but I've never seen it.
Just like
But-
there's a version of that clip that doesn't use Paracarry.
I've probably seen that one.
Yeah,
And
I've
that's
seen
only
that one.
'cause I think it's probably in a task, maybe.
Nice. Good angle. I already had to hit a heart block, so it's whatever. I also need to equip HP+, so really we're just, we're floundering a little bit here. We don't care about our coins anymore, so whatever. Let me equip HP+ while I'm thinking about it. We were always gonna need to hit a heart block because I killed the dude, so
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Alright, so door 1 is relatively tame. Door 2 has the last couple of tricks in the run. More narrow hallways first. And now we have the flood room.
This is another
Honestly-
focus room.
Honestly, from the perspective of like a design standpoint, this room is so interesting to me. Because why does he have a flood room?
Yeah, what the hell is the purpose of this in this castle?
I have no idea why this is a thing, but
For the same reason somebody has a lava moat.
I expect
Why
that
not?
from Bowser. But a flood room is weird to me. I don't know.
I would expect Bowser to stay away from lava, given that historically speaking, like, it serves him detriment more than benefit.
True. So yeah, we're walking on water. Lackey lets us clip anywhere that's a corner. We raise the water to the second level so we can get up here to the switch.
Okay, like
And now with some precise movement out of bounds, there's a key we have to get to open the door that leads into the cannon room. But we don't want to raise the water all the way because that's pretty slow. So we're going to jump out of bounds. Use Cooper because storing your jump out of bounds lets you use Cooper's ability to shell shot. And you jump way up into the sky and grab the key midair. And now for the quick exit. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
That exit is scary because if you mess it up, your run is over. So now, right after that, we have Cannonless. Totally didn't steal that, by the way. Basically what it sounds like, you're intended to fight or get into fights with all these cannons, and we're not going to do that because that's slow. There is a glitchless method that you can do that's pretty safe. You would spin into the bullet bills the cannons fire and run away from them. Or you would dizzy attack them, sorry. You would spin into them with dizzy attack equipped, and that would dizzy the first bullet bill, and it makes the runaway much easier. And you run away from all 4 encounters, but that's really slow, but it's pretty safe. But we don't do that. Here.
had a
So-
minor cannonless disaster there, but it's fine.
You didn't pop in bounds, so that was a success to me.
You know, fair enough. I didn't have to jump over the cannons, so it's all good. I would do it if I had to, but I'm glad I didn't have to.
Definitely the best backup. Or the fastest backup. Probably not the best, but it's the fastest. Ooh, this guy. This guy always sketches me out when he sees me on the way. He generally doesn't hit you when that happens, but like, it's scary every time.
It looks way worse than it is. It's one of those things.
Yeah. I'm more afraid of that dry bones than anything.
Me too. And he also didn't hit me, so we are good.
Yeah, that dry bones that we passed earlier,
Oh my goodness,
can
I
just-
forgot my angles. That was scary.
he can just hit you, because, yeah. And there's nothing you can really do about it. Unless you have sushi out, but at that point it's not fast.
So when you've got time,
Oh, we do.
the
Oh, we
big
have a
war
lot of
has been
time.
okay.
This is the
Well,
perfect time.
great, actually. The bid war has been heating up, and oh my gosh. We had a $26 anonymous donation, no comment, but that actually brought Prime to Echoes up to $156, which beat out Metroid Dread. But Mr. Shasta gave us $10 saying Dread slaps, and you know where that went to. And that brought Dread back to the forefront with $165. And then, oh my goodness, Uncle Reggie sent in $10 saying Eka, just to bring Prime 2 Echoes back up to $166. It is a $1 difference. This is a really tight race, folks. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much for your donations. And again, there's still time to snipe that. ! Donate in chat will get you that link. And all of this again goes to benefit Lead. So thank you all so much for being here.
Yeah, that was actually the perfect time, and we still have plenty of time left, actually, if you want to keep reading. There's a quiz here. There's no way around this, and it takes like 2.5 minutes or something, so... Or no, it's
Yeah,
not.
the answers are the same every time.
I've actually got a quiz for you all. Do you have any preference between Dread or Prime 2? Like, I know it's not a Mario game or anything, but they are Nintendo games, so... like, do you have a preference between... And again, this is a randomizer that Ash Prime will be doing. Are you interested more in seeing the GameCube Prime 2 Echoes or the Switch Dread randomizer?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Like, if
I've
it
heard
helps.
I've heard good things about Dread, but I mean,
I haven't
Prime
seen
is
a
so good.
I haven't
Prime is
seen a
so
Dread
good.
randomizer, so I would be inclined to pick that one.
Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
Good point.
I've seen plenty of Prime 1 and 2 randomizer. I've not seen Dread randomizer.
I mean, Dread is behind by only a single dollar at the moment, chat. You can help give Yoshi, Spaceship Yoshi, and Morpheus what they want.
Come on, chat.
So that was the
I
item
believe in y'all.
duplication that we were talking about. Kind of...
It happens really fast.
Yeah, it's already over.
So what basically the breakdown of that is you get next to the item on the floor and mount on Lackey and eat your consumable item, which was that a maple? I don't know what you ate below.
Ultra Shrimp.
Repel gel. Ate the Ultra Shroom below the Repel Gel. And what that does is it lets you it pushes you into the item you pick up, which was the Jam and Jelly we're gonna need for the ending.
And
There's a whole bunch of overlapping cutscenes that happen there, and we just time our A press in such a way that we throw the Repel Gel away. And then that gives us a second one.
so here's the Endless Hallway. We are coming up on the end of the game here. We have a boss gauntlet at the end of Paper Mario runs that is 4 fights long. I guess one of them's only kind of a boss. But
It's a boss in that if it fails, you just die inside, because it should work every time.
yeah, instead of your run dying, you die emotionally if it fails, because it's
'Cause, like-
literally one move.
It's pretty, like, I've never seen anyone lose their run to that fight, but, like, well, actually, no, I have. I've been on the receiving end, but generally speaking, you should win that fight every time. But sometimes the game just doesn't care.
Truly.
Now that we've said it out loud, I think there's a lot of opportunities for this game to bully the runner.
There are. It's
Well,
pretty rough.
This fight's better than the any percent one, that's for sure. I haven't died on this one. I've died a handful of times in the any percent fight.
I have been playing exceptionally safe, and we've been moments from death several times.
That's
So,
encouraging.
Yeah.
so this is up and away. There's a 95% chance on every enemy that it just blasts them to the void.
Yep.
And naturally,
Oh my god.
thankfully, this is not the worst case scenario. It ended up being one of the ones in the back. And we have the FP to still manage this. You need at least 17
You need
going into junior.
14.
Or 14. 14.
Yeah.
So, it's not the worst thing that can happen, but it still sucks.
It's very annoying, and that's about it. It can kill runs that are like close on PB. So
Yeah.
Hey, remember this guy? We saw him once.
Who?
In chapter 7.
Literally. Oh, right. I can't make that joke.
Yeah. In any percent, this is the first time you see him at all.
Alright, so this is Junior Troopa again, squared. He's way stronger. We're gonna do the same thing we did before. We're gonna charge up and try to beat him in one bounce. First, we're gonna take this heal, and we're doing some extra damage with Paracarry, so we're not needing an Omega Cap.
So this is what, the third time you fight him? Second time?
This is
Sixth in
second
vanilla.
time in this.
Second in the run.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy is quite persistent. So we need at least a 5 for this to be not terrible.
Where was that on Hoth?
Nice.
Huh? he just died.
Yeah, he sure did. If M4 ended up getting a 4 cap, they would have had to Starstorm and probably die. There's a chance for a close call there. But close call doesn't work, so we have to heal this heart block because we have no health and no FP for this upcoming fight. It's, as they said, it is literally a gauntlet. It's one after the other. Because as soon as we get to the upper hallways of Peach's castle, we have to fight Bowser.
Entire chapter's just kind of rough. I feel like even in vanilla, it's just kind of demanding a lot.
It's honestly pretty exciting, this whole chapter. It's definitely one of my favorites to execute, just because, like, besides the quiz, there's never really a break. So we're getting this... Is this your third life shroom?
This is the second. Yeah.
I'm thinking of the risky route. Oops. We're getting a life shroom here for the ending, and in case Hallway Bowser decides to be mean. And we're getting Power Rush. What Power Rush does is when you're at 5 HP or lower, it will increase Mario's attack by 2. So instead of Mario's boots doing, on this fight, because Bowser has 1 defense, they'll do 2 damage. Instead of 2 and 2 for his jump times 2 command, it'll do 4 and 4.
I'm gonna need to focus for this. If you miss blocks, it's really bad.
Yeah, this is if Bowser gives the wrong attacks, like if he does double fire, it's perfect health count for this fight. Blocked fire does 7. So we're gonna charge twice. And on the second turn, on Bowser's second turn, he will always bring up his Star Shield. So we got our 2 charges out of the way. He brings up Star Shield, we're just gonna get rid of it immediately. I believe this is a shell shot turn again, and then you just bounce.
That is
So
correct.
3 cap is bad. 4 cap wins, at least. 3 cap is 16%.
We're hoping.
Oops. Imagine. Thank you, buddy!
Oh.
Yeah,
That's why I
that
got
sucks.
that backup life shroom.
Yep.
Yeah, you only need 1 life shroom for the ending.
The extra one is in case you get the 16% chance of getting 3 capped here. My RNG of this run has been pretty awful, except for a couple minor things. Figures, right?
Yeah, it's just Bowser showing up to the party.
Still kill him. It's honestly not that awful. It kills runs, but it doesn't stop you from finishing. It just kills you time-wise, if that happens. I don't even know how much time that loses, but it's pretty big.
So we're approaching the end here. Do you have to do the HP manipulation? Or no? Oh no, you triple dip here.
Yeah, we tripled
Never
it.
mind.
But we also take HP plus off, so.
Oh, true. Okay.
Okay, no, I won't do that here. Am I kidding? It's just a rebadge. What do I care?
Okay, so
Nice frame.
the main reason we're taking HP plus off is because Bowser has a heal formula. He can heal during this fight, and it's dependent on Mario's HP. So the way it works is that once we start the second phase of the fight, we're going to get hit one time and preferably never get hit again, with according to the RNG, depending on how it works out.
Yeah, we get hit twice in a normal fight. So, yeah, this is Final Bowser. And we get to use Mega Jump, which is actually not used in any other route of this speedrun, which is really cool. Or of this game.
This fight is really funny.
Yeah.
So, that triple dip badge we picked up in Chapter 7, finally getting used here. We're going to throw everything at this fool. Because the other strategy for fighting Bowser is just charging a lot and praying, and it kind of sucks. Not even gonna lie. But the damage here is consistent, and as long as you block the first coming attack on phase 2, he'll never heal, so the damage is just spread out throughout the fight instead of just one big turn.
Okay, so that phase 1 was fine. I'm a little nervous about Wave, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been playing the game super consistently up to this point. But on the plus side, if we don't have any more disasters, I think we're gonna get a pretty good time for this category, actually. Even with the saves. And the RNG.
Yeah, generally speaking, a good time in this category is in the 2-1x range. So this is on pace for it right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how long the Bowser fight is, but I think we might be like 2:15 to 2:17 range, somewhere in there, if everything goes according to plan. Which is like, that's almost top 10, like, period on the leaderboard, I think, so. This has been very, very smooth, much better than I expected after not playing the game, you know, very consistently for as long as I have. That new trick with the small statue really helped out a lot. Anyway, this is the last boring part of the run. This is a hold B and match A type of deal. There are 5 turns. It's mostly a narrative fight. You just physically have to press the buttons.
Yeah, this is another scripted fight. Very fun.
Oh yes, we haven't had one of those in a while. Honestly, I'd like it if Puff were scripted, or Junior.
That'd be fun.
That'd be so much better than what they actually are, because those fights are extremely terrifying. Or even Hallway, I got 3-capped on Hallway, dude. That's so unusual.
I feel like Hallway should be scripted. It's not like the actual last fight.
True. True.
He's also just straight up weaker than Junior beforehand.
Which is pretty funny. He's weaker than Junior, but he has, like, some more tricks than Junior does.
Notably the wave attack.
Yeah.
Bowser is a full bag of gimmicks. Which is honestly pretty interesting compared to every other fight in the game where it's just they follow a set pattern every time. And like all of Bowser's attacks have their own like consequence, like aside from like fire and lightning, they just deal a ton of damage. Like the claw, if you unblock it, it poisons you. If you miss the butt stomp block, it takes away your action commands, which not many enemies do in this game. And then the wave disables your partner if you miss the block with them. It's honestly like pretty interesting. It's unfortunate that it's so variable because it makes speedrunning this fight a giant pain. So Peach is praying to the kingdom. She's giving us her power alongside the Star Spirits. And now we've got Peach Beam, and that is just enough to get rid of Bowser's Star Shield.
I am going to focus for this fight due to rust.
No worries, I'll handle it.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Go for it.
So, like I said earlier, this whole fight is very spread out. All of the damage is done throughout the fight. So, M4 is going to take this first block and preferably never get hit again. So we're going to activate Triple Dip again and just throw the rest of our shooting stars to deal that extra damage. And because we're using Triple Dip early on, we need to manage our FP because it costs 6 to use. So we're going to be opting for Power Jump. We equip Power Jump and Mega Jump for this fight because early on the FP matters a lot. So Mario has that Power Plus badge active right now as well, so Power Jump is going to do 8. And that was his second turn. This is turn 3. There is a chance. Okay, he didn't. There's a 15% chance he can shield on this turn. So we're on pretty good track right now to have a good fight. We're going to restore our FP here, repel up one more time. So now every turn after this, or starting now, he has a 75% chance of bringing up his Star Shield. Didn't do it there. So now we're gonna start just mega jumping, shell shotting him to death.
Get him.
Let's see what he does here. Alright, turn 5 shield. Basically the same as turn 4 shield, I believe, for this fight. So the only scary thing left is what M4 brought up, the wave attack. If you miss the wave, you have to hope he doesn't heal the next turn.
May I cut in for a quick announcement?
Almost. Nice close call.
Okay, whatever. Sure, dude.
That's funny.
Alright, go for it.
So
The
that
fight's
close call,
over.
that close call's faster. 'cause
Well,
everything's a
first
shell
off,
shot.
congratulations on that fight. And second off, we have hit $2,000 raised for lead. Thank you all so much.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
That's so nice. Good job, everybody.
Actually, I'm sorry, I need to correct myself. We have hit current year raise for lead.
True, true.
$2,022 raise for lead.
Do I have
Good
a sound
job,
for that?
Chat.
Oh shoot, hold on. There it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Good job, chat.
Alright, so yeah, that's any percent no Peach work. Now, you might be wondering, why are you still playing the game? You defeated Bowser. So the ending for speedruns, the end timing is actually in the epilogue when Peach raises her hands at the celebration party for saving the Mushroom Kingdom. So we have a full 6 minutes. There's almost nothing happening during this. There's like 20 seconds of movement and one trick in air quotes that we do. So yeah, if you have anything you want to talk about during the end of the run, this is a really good time for that.
that last push was because back and forth on that Metroid randomizer war. But thank you all once again so much. We have surpassed our goal for this marathon. That was $2,000 and we've beaten it. We still have another run to come. I'm not sure how long I've got for this because I know you're finishing at the run.
Like
3.5 minutes?
3.5
All right,
minutes.
well,
is
that
left.
back and forth. Let's start with Anonymous. $20 to say, we love Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for Nintendo GameCube, but Metroid Dread Random needs to be seen by everyone here on Fried Chicken Wednesday. Well, Uncle Reggie says no, because they sent in $20 to say Echo 2 Electric Boogaloo. He's brought us to 2,000 with $18, saying 2,000 time. And Uncle Reggie, thank you so much for that $22 to bring us to the year of our Game Lords 2022. Thank you once again so much. What a hype moment. And right as that boss fight ended too.
That was terrifying. that attack he did right at the end was the one I was scared of the whole time because of my rust. And I think I would have hit the block, but we'll never know because I got lucky. And it just missed.
Like I mentioned, if you miss that block with your partner, you will die, basically.
Yeah,
there's so the healing formula is there's a 70. If he's able to heal, there's a 75% chance he will heal. But I feel like it's 95.
It really feels like that. I feel like he's only given me that grace a handful of times in the 3 years I've been running this game.
Yeah, I've gotten I got it once, and it was in a PB attempt, and it happened. But because of that close call, even if they missed the wave, they could have done that mega jump, died, and then mega jumped or power jumped again, and still won.
Mm-hmm. So all good, basically. The RNG for the most part in this run was pretty stinky. the duplicates dink and the 4 cap on Huff with the close call and the exact wrong attack was really gross.
So it was really bad and then also really good because you got a 17 cap blooper.
Yeah, what the heck? I forgot about that. That was like an hour and a half ago, but the odds of that happening are just so ridiculously low. I bet
17 cap blooper, first try speedy. Really good goods and really bad bads.
If I looked it up, I bet 17 cap blooper is like 1 or 2% probably, or 17 rather. That was pretty wild. So, this is just narratively speaking, this is the part where everybody gets invited to the, hey, you saved the world party. Very, very nice thing for them to do there. It gives Parakarry a little bit of a redemption arc because he actually gets the letters to everybody, as opposed to the main game where I don't know if he has like a hole in his mailbag or what, but he lost like 20 letters throughout the Mushroom Kingdom or something like that.
Yeah, it's not just one location, it's throughout the entire kingdom.
Yep.
Like, even in Chapter 6 in Flower Fields, where, as far as I'm aware, from what I remember, there is no one who gets mail in that chapter.
And he somehow lost a letter there.
Like, what were you doing over there, brother?
I think more games should end with a dance party / parade.
Honestly, yeah.
I agree.
I think it's really charming that the credits to this game are like a literal parade of the characters.
Alright, so here's a little movement. I'll let you know when the time is coming up. It's pretty soon.
Here's Luigi skip. You just hold down and Luigi gets skipped. It's
Are you kidding me? There we go.
By far the easiest trick.
That revenge was funny.
So easy that glitchless players back in the day did it on accident and would have their run invalidated. But now it's a part of glitchless, so it's all good.
Okay, so I will say when time is. For visual reference, it's when Princess Peach raises her arms into the air at the end of her speech. And time.
GG's.
Thank you for
Good game.
for the rust and how little time I had to prepare this run. This actually went fantastically well. I'm very, very happy with this run.
Was very well played.
Did we have a final time on that? Sure. That's correct. Okay, that's that's pretty good. If you go and look at the leaderboard on the N64 tab, that would actually have been a top 10 run. Surprisingly, despite all the saves and all the 3 cap on hallway Bowsers and 4 cap on Huff and Puffs.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a really good run. This category is really cool. It's a shame that it doesn't get all that much attention because it's extremely unique in that you end up having to do a significant amount of fighting on an extremely low power level. And unfortunately, and this is probably why this doesn't get run all that often, it means the RNG is kind of harsh at several parts, as we alluded to when they happened. But this is a really neat category, and I would also say that if somebody is moving from glitchless, which is the usual entry point for this game, heading into other categories, No Peach Warp is a fantastic place to jump into doing glitched runs. This is probably the lowest bare minimum requirements of any category besides glitchless to just jump in and play. And
it is,
yeah.
I think it might be the easiest category to get a top time in right now, I would say. I think glitchless is super stacked now compared to No Peach Warp in that sense.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, if you look at the leaderboard, like the top 7 or so runs are like 213s, and then there's like a 2.5 minute drop off. Like after that, I would say that like 213 or better is a top time in this category. And that, like,
yeah, for sure.
It's not easy to get, but you can do it on the safe route. Like my PB's on this route.
Yeah, my PB was a 213 something with the safe route, like what M4 just did.
Yeah.
Before I did risky stuff. Very attainable for sure if you grind it out.
Yeah, for sure. And this game is also just really fun. It's nice that you get to see, the back part of the game. So this ends with a nice parade, and like Yoshi said earlier, they really don't do stuff like things like this anymore. Like this is just a cute little parade. They put so much into this game. It really, no matter how many times I get burned by the RNG or the game being really difficult, like I can never stop myself from loving it because of just all these little touches like this and how fun it is to play. They didn't have to do this, go out on the credits like that, but they did, and it's a much better experience for it, I think. So, I think that's just about it for us. I don't know if you have any closing remarks more for Yoshi?
Nope, I'm all good.
Not me neither. I'm good.
I stream over at Twitch TV /MX_4. I don't stream too terribly often at the moment, but when I do usually I do randomizer races of this game pretty much every Sunday. And currently, the main game I run is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is my current grind. But I'm kind of in the learning phase of that right now, so I don't stream, every day or every other day while I'm working on that. But that's where you'll find me. This is what I do. Sometimes I do pape if people ask me to nicely, because I really love this game. Yeah.
If you want to find me, I stream at twitch.tv/Morpheus080. I haven't played Pape in quite some time. I'm doing a lot more Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 100% right now. But I don't have a lot of time to do runs, so that's usually relegated to weekends. But that has been my main focus for a couple of months and will be. I'm on the grind for sub 5 in that category right now.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/SpaceshipYoshi. I don't do much speedrunning anymore, but eventually when I inevitably find a game to fixate on, I might start up again.